Hello friends, if you're new, welcome to my channel. How about going down, hitting the like button, and pressing the subscribe button, and ringing the bell so you don't miss any of my shows. For my fans and subscribers, welcome back. Thank you for the patronage. Today's topic is going to be Daniel, Lessons in Knowledge and Power. Not much else I need to say. Let's get on with the video. The narratives of Daniel 1 through 6 are unified by the person of Daniel, although his three friends make an appearance in chapter 3. While these can be read in terms of the challenges posed to the primary characters, the true focus is the Gentile king and whether or not he will recognize divine sovereignty. In chapter 1, Nebuchadnezzar is shown as thinking that he holds supremacy. However, the story is designed to show that it is God, the supreme sovereign, who gives the victories to Nebuchadnezzar. Even the young Jewish sages are the effects of God's actions, not the king's program. In chapter 2, the narrative recounts a supposed dream that Nebuchadnezzar had. Daniel is portrayed as doing what the Babylonian sages could not only recounting the king's dream, but interpreting it, after which Nebuchadnezzar confesses the Jewish God as the quote-unquote revealer of mysteries. The dream affirms Nebuchadnezzar's sovereignty, but it relates quote-unquote future events that include transfer of power from one kingdom to another, down to the Greeks, who act with unprecedented violence. At that point, God will intervene to bring an end to Gentile kingdoms. Chapter 3 originated independently, but the redactor tries to tie it into the rest of the book by encouraging readers to see the quote-unquote image of gold as Nebuchadnezzar's response to being identified as the quote-unquote head of gold in his dream of chapter 2. This story sets up a direct conflict between the sovereignty of the king and that of the Jewish God, who forbids his people to worship idols. The utter failure of Nebuchadnezzar's attempt to burn the friends alive in the furnace is a metaphor for his impotence against the power of the Jewish God. Going back to chapter 1, it introduces the entire book, including characters and themes. The Jewish God's supremacy over all the earth, which is central to both parts of the book, is clearly introduced. The chapter also presents the complex relationship between knowledge and power. It appears then that chapter 1 was penned originally to introduce chapters 1 through 6, and when chapters 7 through 12 were added, it wasn't significantly changed. This can be seen not only because there is no foreshadowing of chapters 7 through 12, but because chapter 1 ends with Daniel being there until the first year of Cyrus. This can clearly be seen in chapter 1, verse 21, whereas we find Daniel having a vision in the third year of Cyrus. Chapter 10, verse 1. Thus, Daniel, his three friends, and their Babylonian names are all introduced in chapter 1. We also are given an explanation as to Daniel's expertise in dream interpretation. The vessels taken from the Jerusalem temple, prominent in chapter 5, are also mentioned. The focus of chapter 1 is Nebuchadnezzar, and appears to be a strategy after the fact to set the narratives of chapters 1 through 4 apart from the rest of the narratives, and to present them as unified in depicting the education and transformation of the king into accepting divine supremacy. This is a bit strange, though, because even though the redactors do try at some points to make the puzzle pieces fit, they are perfectly content to let other inconsistencies remain. In addition to being an after-the-fact introduction, Chapter 1 is also a complete story in itself. It foreshadows the court tales by presenting Daniel and friends as superior while highlighting the drama around food restrictions. It also introduces and resolves the primary food conflict. Even though Daniel 1 reads like it is recounting history, the events depicted are actually fictitious. How do we know this? Because there are discrepancies between the Bible and history. Jehoiakim ascended the throne in 609 BCE. According to Daniel 1, Nebuchadnezzar besieged Jerusalem in Jehoiakim's third year, which would be 606 BCE. Nebuchadnezzar was not even king of Babylon until 605 BCE, which, by the way, totally destroys the JW doctrine that Jerusalem was destroyed in 607 BCE. For those interested in the Jehovah's Witnesses, I have an ongoing series. I do go more into the 607 BCE date in that series. However, we cannot fault the authors of Daniel too much. They were working on an older, albeit historically inaccurate, tradition set forth in the chronicler's telling of Jehoiakim's reign. The chronicler, in turn, may have gotten this tradition from Jeremiah. In 22:10-12, the prophet predicts that Jehoiakim would die in exile. Daniel 1:1 may arrive at its date in an attempt to harmonize the account in Chronicles with the note in 2 Kings 24:1. It should be stated, however, that the note in 2 Kings 24:1 alludes to Jehoiakim's revolt in 601 BCE. The introduction of Chapter 1 serves many purposes. The dates given in verse 1 and verse 21 is set with a chronological framework of the exile. In addition, highlighting the encounter between the kings allows the authors to bring to the forefront their theological concerns with kings and kingdoms. Mention of the temple vessels sets up the story in Chapter 5 about Belshazzar's feast, as well as associating the narratives with the anxiety and Second Temple Judaism for the fate of the vessels, which were portable symbols for a religion that forbade images. Even so, only Daniel and Ezra mention that Nebuchadnezzar put the temple vessels in a Babylonian temple. Ezra focuses on the return of the vessels to Jerusalem by Cyrus. He sees these as a continuity between the first and second temples. In Daniel, however, the vessels serve a different purpose. They are the earthly symbols of divine power, and they serve the same function in the book of Jeremiah. While the authors do say that Nebuchadnezzar besieged Jerusalem, they never say he took it. Their emphasis is that God gives Jerusalem into his hands, reinforcing the idea that the Jewish God is the supreme sovereign. Access to and possession of knowledge are both a theme and also serve as a narrative function in the book. All authors distribute knowledge to their characters in different ratios. Such distribution is essential to the tension and plot of the story. Thus, the key to the resolution of the plot is the author equalizing access to important knowledge. Everyone, the reader and characters alike, come to the same understanding of reality. Well, friends, that's it for today. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe button, and if you want to know when I come out with new content, hit the bell next to the subscribe button. My Twitter, Discord, email, and PayPal links are in the description, as well as the source that I used for this video. If you wish to support this channel, you may do so on my PayPal link. Keep learning and searching for truth. Here are a few videos from my library. If you have not watched them yet, go ahead and watch them and tell me what you think. Until next time, friends, stay safe and goodbye.